Triple E EDC back again with another live video. Got a couple of new knives here, a couple of Todd bags, you got the Hogue EX A01. Just wait a couple seconds for a couple people to join. While we're waiting for those of you can't talk today. Hey Case, how are you doing? While we're waiting for those of you guys who are watching after this is recorded, let's go ahead and talk about what you're looking at. Hey Jesse, how you doing? So this is the Sig Sauer version of the Hogue EX A01. This is a Todd Begg Field Marshal in Damascus. This is the Steelcraft series. This is also the Steelcraft series. Hey Leviathan, how you doing? This is also the Steelcraft series. This is a Bodega, Todd Begg Bodega. Thank you. Yeah, and don't forget to like the video. A couple of guys, I see one like so far. All right, so let's go ahead and do a little bit of. Hey, Sielemansky, how you doing? All right, well, I'll ask you guys what you're carrying in a couple minutes. Maybe a couple people will join before we get to that, but I'll just show you guys a couple of new things that came by my my channel. Got the Todd Begg Bodega, the Field Marshal, and the Hogue EX A01. Bring those back in a minute. I've got this ZT0562. This is the tie, but this has MXG hardware. Obviously, it's not the black hardware that it comes with. The clip has been sanded down and it's got ceramic bearings, so this thing is absolutely butter smooth. We've got a couple of knives from one of the viewers. I don't know if he wants his name shown, but this is a Lion Steel. I think this is the Lion Steel Best Man, if I'm not mistaken. And then this is another one of those. Nice slip joints here. And this is a I forgot the name of these. It's like a Shat SCHATT and Shatton Morris or Shatton Morin. Can't remember the name of the company S&M. Not that kind of S&M guys. But this is pretty cool. This is, I think, abalone or pearl. I think it's abalone. It's pretty cool. This is an older knife. And yeah, these were all sent to me by a viewer. This one wasn't, but these three were. And I'll be taking a look at these on the channel over the next maybe week or two. Obviously want to get it back to him. Show you guys a close up here. But he let me borrow them to check them out. M390 on the Lion Steel, micarta. Very nice micarta. And this one's copper. More M390. Oddly enough, this copper isn't as heavy as I thought it would be. I've had a couple of copper blades, and the copper's usually insanely heavy, but the copper's not as bad as I thought it would be. I think it's a little bit, and it's not as handle heavy as I thought it would be either. Hey, Case, have a good night. Yeah, we all got things we got to do. I got stuff I got to do tomorrow too, but I just don't sleep well, so I'm here with you guys. All right, but let me go ahead and put these away for now. Hey, James, how you doing? Yeah, the Sielemansky, you got that that Natrix XL, right? That thing, that copper Natrix XL, is insanely heavy in the handle. It's just a little ridiculous. I also had copper scales for the PM2 at one time, and when the new copper PM2 came out with, this is an auto, by the way. It's only 711 there. You're in Hawaii, right, Jesse? When that new copper PM2 came out, it was a hard pass for me. What is my favorite knife? Oof, tough question there. All right, so as far as my favorite knife, I mean, I like big and heavy knives. So my favorite knife is probably either the Berg Blades Iron Wolf, the Medford Marauder Full Thickness Marauder, or the Snex Hoback, or the Hoback Snex Buster. Those are probably three I like quite a bit. This one doesn't cut that well. It's a Medford. It is what it is. It does cut. It cuts fine. But just when you compare it to other smaller blades, obviously it's not going to cut that well. But these are just fun to fidget with, all three of them. If you're looking at something, that I think cuts well and, is a good performer, that I like to carry around a lot, I mean, the good old XM18. Yeah, so the Berg blades are awesome. This is my Golem. This is a Berg Blades Golem. This one's a user. Came to me this way, and it is for sale. If any of you guys are interested, I listed it originally at 300, dropped it to 285, I believe. If anyone here on the live chat wants to buy it, if you're watching the live chat, I would take 275 on it. But these are no longer available. I don't know if they'll ever be available again. And this is an acid wash blade. Obviously, a different finish on here, but it is in user condition. The newer ones will go for usually between 350 and 450 if you look at them at the groups. But this is in user condition, so I'm selling it a little bit cheaper. But this is a really cool blade. And the Iron Wolf is also an awesome blade. I love the stonewash finish that WE does on these knives. I had the WE Chimera for a while, and the stonewash finish on that WE Chimera was excellent. It's the same finish. WE makes the knives for Berg blades. So, and one thing about the Iron Wolf is there's like a detent ball ramp and just absolutely drop shot action. This is probably outside of the Norseman that I owned, the most drop shot action of any knife I have. Let's go ahead and throw that Golem back up there. Just so you guys can see some size here, though, this is one of the new knives that came to me. This is that bag Field Marshal Damascus. This thing is beautiful. But very interesting knife, these Steelcraft knives, because like this one's a little, it's interesting. It's a little unwieldy, a little bit because of how big how big the handle is. It actually fits really nicely in the hand. This one is actually more ergonomic than the Bodega. But the Bodega is a better user for sure, mainly because of this reason. And I'll probably do a comparison with these. But the choil here is outside the pivot, whereas the choil here is almost within the pivot. And that makes a huge difference in how far your finger is from the blade here versus here. And you really feel the difference there. Plus the pocket profiles on these. You can see the Field Marshal is quite a bit bigger in the pocket. But the Field Marshal, I think, is the more beautiful blade. Whoops. Oh, man. Just wrecked that camera on that. You guys got to give me a like for wrecking the camera on that. I usually do that with autos. Oh, man. Yeah, but this is... yeah, sorry if I scared you guys. Oh, man. Yeah, so the Damasteel pattern is... what's the pattern on it? It's that weird one. It's like Grossgotten or Grossgoren or something like that. It's if you look up on Knife Ship Free, which is where I got these two on the most recent sale, you can see the different. There's the Thor pattern. There is one other pattern, and then there's this pattern. It starts with a G. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's a beautiful pattern. And they had a couple of them that had like the solid gray at the bottom here, and but this one went all the way to the edge, so I really like this one. Hey, Don Bon, how are you doing? So yeah, these are very cool. I really like the ergonomics on this one better. The ergonomics on both are pretty good, but the ergonomics on this one are a little bit better. And but this one's definitely the better user. Really interesting on this. This reminds me a lot of like the fuel tank on a Harley, or some of those classic '50s cars. I love the styling on this one. Now, how I respond to I'm good. I'm a humble, good YouTuber. Thank you. I appreciate that. Um, so these recently went on sale at Knife Ship Free. That's how I got my hands on them. Normally, I would not be able to, just go out and spend. I think the normal price on this is like 777, and the normal price on this is like 460. These were 50% off on National Knife Day. They also were 55% off, I think, back on last Black Friday. So what I would say, if you're interested in these and you can't find a good deal in the secondary market, uh, you should definitely wait until the next Black Friday. I'm sure Knives Ship Free will, if they don't have this, they'll have something else great as a screaming deal, as Jesse says on these. So keep a lookout for that. Knives Ship Free is a great website. They don't sponsor me in any way. I generally buy a lot of my stuff from DLT Trading. They don't sponsor me either. I don't really get sponsored by anybody. But I like DLT Trading a lot. Uh, I like Knife Ship Free. I order from Blade HQ here and there, and I've got I ordered from American Edge. Uh, they gave me a good deal on something, and I appreciate American Edge for helping me out with that as well. Um, I'm actually kind of curious. Where do you guys shop for your knives? Which retailers do you like to use? And while we got everyone out here, in addition to telling me what retailers you use, go ahead and drop what you're carrying today. I actually carried both of these guys today. Shop Blade HQ, Blade Ops. Yep, I actually visited both of those places, Blade HQ and Blade Ops, in person when I was in Utah. Smoky Mountain, they're definitely solid. White Mountain. So White Mountain seems to be out of stock on everything that I want all the time. KnifeWorks is also a place I use. Wild About Sporting Goods is actually here in Houston, where I live. But I live on the other side of town, so I almost never get there. I really want to go out there, but Gil, the guy who advertised for them, I don't know if he owns the place, but he seems like a great guy. I see him on all the groups online. The Hogue Deca, the mini grip. Oh, and a drop nurse. Oh, awesome. You had a Benchmade 51. Yeah, Chicago Knife Works, I think, is a drop shipping place. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Knife Center. Knife Center's in Virginia. Yeah, I think so. A couple of these places are like drop shipping. I think Chicago Knife Works is a drop shipping. I've only ordered one knife from Chicago Knife Works. That was oh, you had the fracture today. How's that fracture? I haven't had that in hand yet. So Chicago Knife Works had the Tops knife that I got, the 20th anniversary Tex Creek, and that's where I got that one. Bronze Blade SOCOM. That is awesome. That's awesome, guys. All right, so this is the Hogue EX A01. Now, I saw a good deal online where I got this one, and where's the other one? Where did I put that? Well, I had a user Benchmade Presidio 2 that I got as part of this deal. I got this one, and the user Presidio 2. You had that Channel Alpha Beast, awesome, and the bug out. Oh, you got a pry bar too. Which pry do you have? It disappeared from the screen before I could see it. But yeah, I got these two, and the Presidio was a great deal. And I never would have checked out the Hogue EX A01, which is a knife that's been out for a couple of years. But this is the 6 hour version. It's been out. It's more recent. They have this in the flat dark earth and black, and they also have this in the black and the gray. A Lynch pry bar, awesome. Yeah, I've always wanted to check out one of those all access passes. I may get one at some point. But this is a knife I normally would not have checked out. And Spyderco Sage 5, awesome. Yeah. So this is not a knife I would have normally not checked out. I did get a chance to check it out because of just a great deal. I really got the deal for this one because I always wanted to check out the tie and just had the upgrades that I want because I don't like the black on it, the black hardware and everything that comes stock. So I went ahead and got that. And the Presidio 2 is just a great user. So I was psyched to get this deal. Basically, it was only a little bit more expensive than buying a new one of these for all three knives, and that was just a great deal. So I picked up this, and it has G10 handles, which I'm not usually a fan of G10, if I'm being honest. And also the steel on here, a lot of Hogue steel is 20 CV on a lot of their stuff, but this is an older knife, so it's 154 CM, which is honestly a great user steel and doesn't get enough respect these days. But I never would have picked this up, and I hated it at first, to be honest, because the blade on this is awesome. The blade is a really, really great user blade, but I hated the handle for a while. It felt a little small in this dimension. But after carrying it for a little bit, I decided to give it a chance anyway because it's been around for a while and it hasn't gone away. Hogue is still producing it. So I carried it for a while, and honestly, it's grown on me quite a bit. I was going to get rid of it, and now I think I might keep it. We'll see if that sticks, but the blade on this is great, and so I definitely think I'm going to hold on to that. Talking about the RIA, so you guys are talking about the CJRB RIA. I have one of those. Let's see if I can find that. Oh, you got the Emerson? Awesome. It's Emerson CQC. So let me go ahead and throw up. This is the micarta version of the CJRB Centros. And here is a micarta RIA. So the RIA is a knife that I bought before all the other reviewers bought it. And I was going to be the first to throw up a review on it. And then I got it, and I got busy, and everyone else reviewed it, and now I'm sort of left holding the bag. So it is what it is. I'll get a review up at some point, but now it's sort of, I'm behind the eight ball on it, or I'm behind on the review. But this is actually a really good knife. It's smaller than what I normally carry, and before all the other videos came out, I immediately thought to myself, CRKT CEO regarding the opening mechanism. It really feels very much like the CEO, and but it feels like a better CEO. Honestly, if you're thinking of, hey, should I get the RIA or should I get the CEO? Get the RIA. It is a better knife than the CEO for sure. The CEO in micarta came back out again. I gave one away on my 1,000 subscriber video. I was going to get another one, and then I got this in hand and I said, nah, I'll go ahead and stick with the CJRB RIA. Sorry, I missed some of the conversation here. Let me see if I can get up on the chat. So I finally got an iPad here so I can catch up on some of the comments I missed. 1 second, just going to catch up on some comments. So James Rosella asked, what's the best Tanto blade I have? So I'm going to be honest and say that I don't really have a lot of Tantos. Let me see if I have. Yeah, so I am a reverse Tanto guy. I'm not sure that I've had Tantos before, but I'm not sure I still have a single Tanto. Huh. In honor of Jesse B being here and having a reverse Tonto, I'm going to throw up the 9400 that he's going to be getting. I think he was the one that won the 1,500 subscriber giveaway. So this will be going out to you, Jesse, either tomorrow or the next day, whenever I get to the post office. I guess I don't have a Tonto. If you were asking me what's a good Tonto blade that you should get, so here's my recommendation, and this goes for whether it's drop point or Tonto. Microtech SOCOM Elite. So if the size restrictions of your area where you live allow for a blade this long, because it's almost a 4-inch blade, If your restrictions allow for it, the Tonto version of this is just as good as the drop point version. And honestly, if they had the Tonto version available, this might have been the one that I got Tonto. But I really enjoy the SOCOM. It's on bearings. It's buttery smooth. The that sound that comes out when you open it up is just great. It's excellent. Feels great in hand. Perfect grip. You got a thumb ramp here for push cuts. You got a thumb ramp for pull cuts. Um, this is if you need a user knife and you want something that's good quality and that is going to that you can carry every day. This thing, and I've talked before, um, about the tip down. This knife does have tip down, and it's fine on this knife. Really, you shouldn't complain because this knife is big enough where tip down makes sense. So you're not crawling up the knife in order to open it up. I've done videos on this, but if you're doing tip up, you're pulling it out like this, then you got to crawl up the knife to open it. So tip down here makes sense because when you pull it out, your finger's already there to open it. The auto version of this is also good and does come in Tonto as well, but the manual version I think is better. I have a video comparing the two versions. Go check that out if you haven't checked that out already. James, you live in Texas. I live in Texas too. I'm in Houston, so I carry whatever. In fact, today, in addition to the two bodegas, because I changed at one point and was carrying something else. I had the Vehement Knives and Copus Knives Oxus. James, you're in Houston. Awesome. So this Oxus is it's not small. You can see it makes the SOCOM Elite look pretty small. Well, let's go ahead and leave that up. Actually, we'll throw the Oh, you got two houses out here, and you live in Houston. Awesome. So, yeah. So I'm on the lower west side of Houston. Just curious if anyone else in here is from Texas. All right. Sue Lemansky said one of the comments I missed was that the RIA had some lock stick issues. So I'll bring the RIA back in. My RIA has zero lock stick issues. I don't know if the micarta versions were because they're contoured and a little bit more expensive, if they had maybe some better quality control on this, but it definitely had zero lock stick whatsoever, and it has great action. I was asked what the steel is. I think on the Oxus, I think it's 3V. Pretty sure it's 3V. Yeah, 20 people watching, Jesse. I don't get a ton of people watching these, but and mainly that's because I put them on so late at night. But 20, 21 people watching. I have to say thank you guys. If you are watching, stick around because I always end these with a giveaway. So. All right, let's see what we got in the comments here. Oh, you're from St. Louis, Tyler? Not too far. I've always wanted to go out to the Ozarks to, go out on the lake. That was before the show. Metro Detroit. James, you got school tomorrow? James, I'm going to add to your delinquency. If you win, you could come see actually what I look like. I'm not that hard to find, actually, if you go online, but I wouldn't mind dropping a knife off in person. Hey, Acetone, how you doing? So for those of you who didn't see at the beginning of the show, I have these Lion Steels and this Shatton Morgan knife. This was lent to me by a viewer. Beautiful, beautiful knife. This is a doctor's knife. And I'm going to be putting up videos of these over the next probably 2 weeks. And I can't keep these too long. Got to get them back to him. This is micarta and M390, natural micarta, or brown micarta, actually, probably. Mick, you sent your Rhea back for Lockstick. Wow. You know, I C. Lemansky also was saying that there may have been some problems with the Rhea. I'm kind of surprised because CJRB usually has pretty good quality control, and mine was just so good. So I mean, I'm not saying that it didn't happen. It's just surprising. Let's go ahead and throw that Rhea back up here. And as you can see, the Rhea is very similarly sized to these slip joints. And if you need another size comparison on the slip joints, here is the Benchmade proper. James, yeah, that's cool. Don't worry about that. So you can see they're about the same size. Yeah, Big Red's had lock stick. Yeah, I remember that. It's seeing that. Wow. What do I think about the steel on the Rhea? Don Bond was asking that. So the steel on the Rhea is a proprietary steel. That's correct. It is this AR RPM 9. That's the steel on it. And from what I understand, it's. I mean, I don't know too much about it. I remember it was similar to maybe it was D2. I think it was similar to D2 maybe chemically. I got to go back and look. But it was so far it's held up great. I live in Houston, as I said, so we have lots of humidity here, and it's the summer, so we got even more humidity than usual. And it is it's a stainless steel. Oh, you know what? I think it was compared to VG10, if I remember right. I think it was comparable to VG10. So VG10 is a stainless. Yeah. So I think this is their proprietary version of VG10. So it's held up pretty well. No rusting or staining or 14C28N. Could be. I got to go back on. I remember reading it on Artisan Cutlery's website, on their actual website. If you go, because back when I ordered this, it was only available two places. It was available Amazon and in Artisan Cutlery's website. And so I know Artisan Cutlery's website had an analysis of the steel. So you guys are talking a little bit about Civivi and CJRB. And so, yeah, as far as comparing the two brands, let's go ahead and bring out a couple of knives from both brands. So here's the McKenna, which is actually an interesting knife to compare to the CJRB Rhea. Here is the Shredder, Civivi Shredder, and let's see. Here's the Civivi Elementum in S35VN. I think that's it for now. Oh, you know what? This is the Bull Mastiff. Check out this beast. The Civivi Bull Mastiff. Now we'll leave the Bull Mastiff to the side. We'll get back to that one because that is, it really is a beast. But let's also throw in the CJRB Centros because we have to have a couple of CJRBs here. So as far as CJRB versus Civivi, let's put the steels aside for a second because fit and finish first is what matters. In this price range, there's a lot of different stuff. The steels are pretty much all the same for the most part, being offered by a variety of companies. We'll get back to the S35VN in a minute. But you have the 9CR18 MOV that CVV came in. They also came in D2. This comes in D2. This comes in, I guess a steel similar to VG10 or 14C28N. And so they're pretty much all the same. The quality on the micarta versus on Civivi versus CJRB, I'll get to that in a minute as well. But the fit and finish in general on both is really, really good, and they're right on par with each other. So if you're saying which has better fit and finish, honestly, they're both about the same. Issues with the RIA aside, because other than the RIA, I haven't heard any complaints about CJRB issues. But so I guess take CJRB with a grain of salt with the RIA, but other than that, I haven't heard really any issues with fit and finish, and I certainly haven't had any, and I've had a couple of CJRBs. Let's talk about the micarta. The micarta on the CJRBs is nicer than the micarta on the Civivis. The Civivi is the micarta on the Civivis only really comes flat like this on the Elementum. I haven't seen any contouring, whereas these ones come contoured. The Feldspar had contouring too. The CJRB Feldspar, so does the RIA, and the finish on the micarta is just a nicer finish. I like the color a little bit better. It has that sort of variation that you can get in the OD green, where you don't quite get that here. It's more uniform, as you guys can see. The G10 is about the same. I will say that the G10 on the CJRBs was a little too aggressive for me, at least the ones that I had originally, but I had some of the older models. That being said, the Shredder also has very aggressive G10. But the one on the McKenna and the Bull Mastiff are great, along with the Backlash and the Praxis that I used to have. So in general, I would say micarta is better on the CJRBs. The G10 is better on the Civivis. The steels are pretty comparable, with the exception of the S35VN on the Elementum. And this is just a very slicey blade because it is paper thin with a hollow grind. But the Civivis generally a lot of them have hollow grinds too. Now, pay attention to the Tyler. Take care, Tyler. Thanks so much for dropping by. So the Civivis have generally, a lot of the older models have had hollow grinds. This one has a hollow grind. This one has a hollow grind. The McKenna doesn't, flat grind. But a lot of these CJRBs have flat grinds, not hollow grinds. So when you're talking about sliciness, just keep that in mind as well. Let me go back and see some of the comments. Shredder's awesome, just a little big. Yeah, the Shredder is surprisingly big. Mick Kim said the Shredder is a little big. It is surprisingly big. That being said, I had this in the Dogma, and I liked this a little bit better than the Dogma, mainly because the opening hole was a little bit bigger. Out of those 5, what's my favorite EDC? So that was KP HVAC asked, out of these 5 I have right here, what's my favorite EDC? So the line that most YouTubers I think would feed you is that the Elementum is the best out of these. I mean, it's certainly the best value if you're thinking of the steel that's involved, because it says 35VN. Although the lower models are D2. But honestly, my favorite to carry is this one, the Centros. It's a great shape. The spear point blade on this is very pointy. It gets into whatever you need. It's nice. It's thin enough for pretty much every task that you can need. It has contoured micarta scales, deep carry pocket clip, nice and thin in the hand, thin in the pocket. It's honestly, this is the best carry out of these. And yeah, so a couple people are talking about the Elementum. While I'm in that vein, I would probably also say that I enjoyed carrying the Rhea more than the Elementum as well. I also enjoy carrying the Shredder more than the Elementum. Um, but I do like the Elementum better than the McKenna, just because the McKenna is a little bit small for me with the whole front flip thing. I know it's not that much smaller than the Elementum, but it's a little bit too small. I'd like it to be a little bit bigger. It is a nice front flipper though. Let's go ahead and take a look at some other knives. What is the price on the one that I have in my hand? James, which one was the one you wanted the price on? Give me a number 1 through 5, starting from the bottom up. This is 1, this is 5. 3. This is the Rhea. So the Rhea, I believe was so the normal version of the Rhea, I think is like it's like $40 or something, maybe 35, $40. This is the upgraded version. I think it was around 55 or 60, if I remember right. I don't remember exactly, but this is the CJRB Rhea. The McKenna is very light. Yeah, Mick, I agree with you 100%. The McKenna it's very light. It's a great, summer weight pocket knife if you have gym shorts or something, but it's very light. It doesn't feel substantial at all in the hand. All right, let's throw some of these to the side. And I'll just bring this one back out here. This is the last knife that's left from the knife sale. I mentioned earlier before people joined, it's still available. I dropped the price to $275 tonight. It is very much a user, but it is, only cosmetically a user. I think what happened was someone who, and this came to me this way, but I think somebody was using it for something they shouldn't have. It didn't really affect anything anywhere. The edge is fine, but it just got scratched up a little bit. All right, let's take a look at something different here. All right. Does what have the pocket clip, James? If you're asking if the Rhea has the pocket clip, yes, it has a pocket clip. The Rhea has a deep carry pocket clip. So this is the Medford Marauder, full thickness Marauder. This thing is such a beast. I mean, if you put it up against the 940, that's the thickness of it. Such a beast. Dom, I got to take the big one out. You still got that XM24? All right, let's throw it up against another big one here, the 451 button lock from Freeman. This is the titanium version, and let's do let's do a knife for Leviathan if he's still here. Alpha Beast. Whoops, getting caught up in the lanyard here. Yeah, that Freeman's awesome. Oh, it kicked out your Maximate PM2. That's awesome. So I got the Maximate Para 3. Starting to get a little bit of a patina here now, but I am thinking of getting some titanium scales for this. Pretty excited about that. I just got titanium scales from Rock Scale Design, I think it was, for my 940. But I can't bring myself. I wanted the contoured ones. I can't bring myself to take off these titanium scales, so I'm probably going to go buy a black bladed DLC bladed 940, and I'll put the scales on that. James, you're looking for the Alpha Beast? Yeah, I love the Alpha Beast, man. I'm sorry, if I was going to sell it, I'd sell it to you. I've actually had a couple people on the channel ask me about it, but not looking to sell it. I enjoy flipping it. When I go live blade, I usually go here. Most of the time I flip my squid trainer, but when I go flip live blade, I usually flip this. I also have a Benchmade 87. Really want to get my hands on an 85. But yeah, normally when I go live blade, I'll go Alpha Beast. This is the channel Beast, by the way. All right. Yeah, the Alpha Beasts always sell out real quick. I almost always miss the drops because they usually occur on the weekend, and I'm just not available on the weekend. So I usually miss the drops, and unfortunately, I just miss them, and so finally get a chance to get one, and it really lived up to the hype. I was kind of shocked. Let's go ahead and bring out the Crew Carta and eh, Benchmade Anthem. Thank you, Dom. I really appreciate that. Yeah, so the 87 is really interesting. By the way, for those of you who are looking to get an 87, be aware there's two versions of the 87 out there. The older versions have different handle scales than the newer versions. So the older versions have like a chalky texture, almost like the aluminum on the 940s, and but they're titanium. And this one is, as you can see, it doesn't have that same chalky look to it. So I actually had a local business here, James. Since you live in Houston, you probably know Gromit's. But Gromit's is a pen store that also sells knives, and they sold me this. And there was an issue with it when they sold me it, and they hadn't had one in for a long time. And what I ended up doing was saying, look, I'm not going to ding it up, but when you get a new one in, let me swap it out for the new one. So they finally got a new one in. They let me swap it out, and I realized, yeah, there are two different handles on these. I called Benchmade just to make sure there wasn't an issue where a fake got subbed in. Not because I thought Gromit's would do that, but because I thought maybe someone returned something. And Benchmade confirmed, yeah, they had two different versions. They sort of upgraded the handle at some point. So this is the newer version. Shaman still remains one of my favorite EDCs, and the Anthem happens to be, one of my favorite EDCs as well. Just really great action on that Anthem. Yeah, Dom, I was kind of surprised myself. So one of the interesting things about the bearings on the Anthem is when you put bearings on an axis lock, you sort of get very different action. So as you can see, I don't know if I can do this under camera, but when you depress the lock here and pull it back, you get sort of this swinging motion, but it's controlled, right? On an Anthem with the bearings, you pull this back, and like any action, it just really swings back and forth. When it has no tension, it's really, really smooth. Let's get some. Let's have an Osborne party over here. Even though Osborne wasn't around to see it. There's the 9400. Now, the one thing I'm going to do, Jesse, before I send this out to you is I need to go ahead and do a comparison of that with the Mediator. So I know there's a couple of comparisons out on YouTube with the Mediator. Honestly, I don't think there's enough of them, so I'm going to do one. But the Mediator is very interesting. I don't know if you guys know, it's called the Mediator because it's meant to mediate the best things from all of the different out the side automatic knives that Benchmade makes or made. So they took, the best parts of the CLA and the best parts of the Casbah and the best parts of the I guess 9400 that was coming out, along with some design elements from the 940, and yeah, they really made an interesting knife here. Yeah, I did get the Mediator. Which is the best, 9400 versus the Mediator? You wait for you'll wait for the review. Um, so you can wait for the review, and I'll tell you why in the review. But I'll give you the spoiler now. Mute it if you don't want to hear it. The Mediator is better, and I really like the 9400. As you can see, the 940 is a great platform that I love, but the Mediator gives you for around the same price. Actually, a little bit less. I paid less for this than I paid for this. Um, gives you S90V steel. There you go, S90V steel. It gives you similar blade shape, similar pocket profile carry. The G10, normally I like the aluminum better than the G10, but the G10 on this is actually really nice and good and light. And this hits harder. This hits much harder than this. I've heard people talk about how hard this hits. It hits decently hard, but if you own Protex, if you own some of those harder hitting autos, I think you'll find that this doesn't quite hit that as hard as you would expect based on some of the reviews that people have put out. This one hits pretty hard though. All right, since we're talking about automatics, let's go ahead and bring some automatics out, some of which have not been seen on the channel yet. So this is one that I don't think has been seen on the channel. This is the ProTech Harkins dual action. So this has the manual action, and by the way, this thing is really butter smooth. It doesn't look like it from the drop shot, but it feels so smooth, like a TRM Atom, and which is really weird because it's actually an automatic. In addition to and you think the system, spring system, and everything that's in here would make it so that the action is not good, but it really is just as smooth, or almost as smooth as my TRM Atom, which if you guys have one, you know that thing is crazy smooth. But this is also an auto with a hidden lock right here. So very, very nice. It's interesting the way this loads. It's completely smooth all the way back under manual, but then when you fire it, you have to reload the spring here, and now you get the tension here to reload it. And now it's manual again. There's no resistance. So a couple more automatics. Magic 2. ProTech Magic 2. And ProTech Invictus. Ah, here's the Presidio 2 that I couldn't find earlier. All right, let's see some comments. The sub should be like higher, James. Thank you. I appreciate that. Doesn't it seem like there's a steep Benchmade tax? They're so overpriced, especially compared to the quality coming out of China these days. I realize it's an unfair comparison, but and then ... So that's an interesting discussion. I used to feel very strongly that Benchmade had a Benchmade tax, the butterfly tax that Nick Shabazz always really talks about. And I've softened that stance quite a bit, especially with the Spider Apocalypse. That is Spyderco deciding that they wanted to raise prices significantly. If you've watched the price of the Shaman, if you've watched the price of a couple other knives from Spyderco, they've really shot up recently in recent years. And, as a result of that, it's made the market for Benchmades not feel like there's as much of a tax as there used to be. Not because they're any better of a deal than they used to be, but frankly because Benchmades have mostly stayed the same while the competition has all come up. Now, as far as China, that's a good segue into other knives you haven't seen on the channel yet. So let's take a look at some other knives you haven't seen on the channel. The TU Knife Envy 2 and the, I'm sorry, this is the Hive 2. This is the Envy 2. The TU Knife Envy 2 and the TU Knife Hive 2. So these I'm going to be doing a review on. I freaking love these knives. And they are about the same, well, about the same price as the ZT. And they're really, the action on them rivals the action of knives well above their class. They cost, a little over 200, like 220 to 260, around what a ZT would cost. And these are just freaking great on the action. Let's see some comments here. Leviathan, you have no autos? You got all the Bally's, but you got no autos? Come on, man. I'm just messing with you. C. Lemansky says, I can kind of justify the Spyderco price hikes because they are using lots of different steels and lock designs. Benchmade seems to still be fairly firm in the G10 S30V Axis lock camp. So C. Lemansky, I disagree with you a little bit, mainly because, yes, for their all the different steels that they use are priced decently well for the most part, although we're seeing that come up on some of their most recent releases. But for the most part, the specialty steels that they come out with for sprint runs are priced pretty well. But the original versions, which are just like Benchmade G10 and S30V, they are mostly, overpriced, just like Benchmade is. Now, because those prices have come up, they're no longer quote unquote overpriced. They're just what the price is. Until the market really forces them down again, that's what the price is going to be. Yeah, Benchmade is branching into M4 and 20 CVs. Yeah, so they have been doing more of that. And I don't think Benchmade is going to be doing the sprint run thing that Spyderco does. They do release some things here and there, but they're not going to do it to the same scale as Spyderco does. It's just not who Benchmade is. They'll usually just work with additional designers and come out with some new designs. Now that other people are doing the Axis Lock too, I think you'll see that the Axis Lock is going to still be a mainstay at Benchmade, but no longer be the only thing they do. Yeah, the Delica is stupidly overpriced. I 100% agree with that. And, I think that in this day and age, if you're buying a Delica, when it's the same price as and look, the Civivi Elementum is not my favorite knife. It's a good knife, but you can get the Civivi Elementum in S35 VN for the same price as a VG10 Delica. I mean, come on. Do I like the Hive blade shape? Oh, by the way, someone asked me about a Tanto before. Hey, I do have a Tanto. How about that? I forgot I had this in Tanto. But yeah, so what do I think about the blade shape here? So the blade shapes here are a little interesting. This is a Tanto edge with a flat grind here. There's also a flat grind here on the other edge. I kind of like this pretty well. This is I think this version was a hand rub blade if I remember correctly. But the tip on here is a nice penetrating tip. It is not the pointiest if you're trying to pierce something. It's very strong, but it is not the pointiest. Like for instance, you're better off with a spear point if you're looking for just straight penetration. But for strength, this point is great. As far as the blade on here, the edge is great. It comes down to a decently fine edge. And this is the Envy. The Envy is hollow ground here. And then you can see this is a flat grind here. It's a compound grind. I think if I dance it in the light, you could probably see it. What's the price on the Hive 2? So the Hive 2, I think, was around 250 or 260, if I remember correctly. Although I think this was the hand rub version. I think the regular version might be like 240-ish. I don't remember the exact prices, but there's a Tuya Knife Facebook page, and Dave Warren is the representative for the U.S. for Tuya Knife. He is awesome. He is amazing to work with. I can't say enough great things about how easy he is to work with. He gets back to you, and he even gave me, just full disclosure, a little bit of a discount on these for the channel. So I will review them. I'm not going to let that affect the review, but it does allow me to get a little bit more things in for the channel. Yeah, Hollywood Tactical. The quality on these Tuya knives is just it's so good. And it's funny because when I first got these in hand, I thought the handle on this was a little thin for me, and it still to some extent is. But the rest of the knife blew me away so much that honestly I don't care, and I like it. I'm keeping it. By the way, it wasn't that big of a discount. Benchmade should make another flipper, something larger and more substantial than the Tengu, but still compact. It's acetone. So yeah, I do think they should get a little bit more into flippers now that they got the Axis lock is no longer proprietary or no longer patented. The flipper, the Tengu was an interesting flipper. You guys probably saw the review on that. It had some really good hits and some misses, but overall it was a great knife. I would have liked to see a larger Tengu, like Artisan Cutlery, and I said in the review it would have been actually pretty good as a front flipper, I think, design wise, with how the flipper tab interacted. But I would have liked to see that something similar come out in a larger size, kind of like the Centauri did with Artisan Cutlery with Laconico, and they have the small and the large, although the large came out first there. As far as the flipper, I do not think they should make another Axis flipper, because that Axis flipper was a big big flop. If you ever felt the Axis flipper, the detent wasn't strong enough, so it really was a bad flipper. But they have made some good flippers. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm an 11 on the YouTuber scale. Wow, that's awesome. That's high praise. I don't know how I got that, but I do appreciate the compliment. Dave Warren, come on, Triple E is a top 3 reviewer in the world. Should have been free. I'm a top 3 reviewer in the world, Tom. That's also high praise. A lot of compliments tonight. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Oh, you had Acetone. You had one of the Benchmade 300s. Yeah, very poor D10. Have I handled an off-grid Scorpion yet? That's Mark Herrera. No, I have not had an off-grid Scorpion. I keep seeing those on Metal Complex's channel, and I really, really want to get one because they look. He makes them look awesome. I mean, as far as aesthetics, I think they're okay aesthetically, but they really look like they're nice knives. But I would love to get one in hand. If I can get you to stay on the stream for more than 10 minutes, you're one of the best. That says something. That's awesome. Speaking of staying on the stream, I know a couple of you guys probably got to get to bed. It's 1 o'clock in the morning here, Central. Let's see about a giveaway. let's see what I can do here. So a couple of you guys know that I try to give you guys a couple of choices when it comes to giveaways instead of just giving away one knife. So let's see. Let me grab a couple from here. Okay, so I've got a couple here that I am going to give away, or one of them I'm going to give away. A couple you can pick from one of these. So first one is the Kershaw Thistle. Much better knife than people give it credit for. The CRKT Up and Atom. Spyderco Tenacious. And the QSP Penguin in Eau de Green micarta. Thank you, BJ. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, the super chat is open, guys. So if you guys do want to donate, I definitely appreciate it. It's not a requirement, but I really do appreciate it. Oh, speaking of which, guys, if you haven't already gone over to DTOM Knives and Gear, he's running a giveaway for Garricore EDC, Rodney from Garricore EDC. He is a member of the knife community who has an issue, medical issue going on, and he is going to be out of work for a while. So DTOM is giving a giveaway to. So if you guys can go out and support him and support that giveaway, it's definitely appreciated. It supports a member of our community. Hollywood Tactical, the Thistle is pretty nice. I mean, this is not an expensive knife by any means, but it's very ergonomic. It's 8CR13 MOV, which is fine for a budget steel. Not the greatest, but it is what it is. It's good enough. But the blade shape is awesome. It has a similar blade shape to a Spydie Chef, and the ergonomics are great. And it's got an interesting closing mechanism here. All right, how does the money chat work? Mick Kime says, how's it build? So the super chat option, if you go through it, you can add like a credit card, or I think it even gives you a PayPal option if you like. I think you can go one of the two. And once you add to it, then you will be able to, do a chat sticker, or do a sticker, super sticker, or a super chat. If you do the super chat for like $2, you get like 10 words or 20 words or something. That's not me. That's YouTube makes those rules. And then I think for like $5, you get like 120 characters or something like that. And then it goes up from there. The more money you give, the more you can say. Honestly, if you can give anything, great. Definitely not required, but I do appreciate it, guys. All right, let's see. All right, so Acetone, you said you sent an email the other day. Yeah, sorry, I've been a little delinquent on my emails, so I'm sorry about that, Acetone. But I do remember, you offered to send me something for the channel. Yeah, if you want to send me something for the channel, definitely would love to take a look at it. And just let me know, what it is you had in mind, and I'll be happy to work that out. Thank you, Mick, so much. I really appreciate it. You got the sticker going. Awesome. Thanks so much. What is my email, James? My email is triple.e.edc@gmail.com, triple.e.edc@gmail.com. And if you win one of these knives, that's where you'll email me at in order to claim your prize. All right, so there's only 23 people watching, 24 people watching. So if the odds are good, you will win. So let's go ahead and do a number between 1 and 100. Let's do the closest without going over. Everyone will get one guess, just one guess. Yes, thank you, Mick. It did work. Thank you so much. Let me go ahead and I don't have a pen and paper. Let me go grab that real quick. Okay, got a pen and paper real quick. Going to go ahead and write the number down. And let's the number between 1 and 100. Everyone will get one guess. Don't guess yet. It'll be when it starts. Don't go over. And let me think of the number. Okay, I've got the number. And it is right here on a label. And you guys can go ahead and start. Go ahead and start. One guess per person. Closest without going over. Hades Knives, what's going on? You came just in time for the giveaway. So one guess these knives, a number between 1 and 100. Close without going over. Nobody has gotten it exactly on yet. Okay, numbers are slowing down. I'll give you guys another maybe 20 seconds. If you haven't guessed, go ahead and guess. Acetone, you're always welcome to play. All right, I'm going to go ahead and say stop. Okay, so let me go back and look to see who the winner is. All right, I know who I see it is. Let me go ahead and take this. I'm going to rip this down the center because it's a label. 37. So I actually see BJ as the winner. Guys, let me know if I missed anything. But I think BJ's the winner. Sorry, Dom. Oh, Parker. Oh, man. Sorry, man. All right, well, BJ, go ahead and email me at triple.e.edc@gmail.com, triple.e.edc@gmail.com. Oh, thanks so much, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for the help with the shipping. Definitely wasn't necessary, but I appreciate it. Hollywood Tactical is a lag. Um, I'm sure everyone's wondering, BJ, which one did you want? Yeah, BJ's got to get one to customize. QSP. That's what I thought. Figured you guys would go with the QSP. But this should be interesting. BJ, I want to see some bronze hardware on here and an acid wash blade since you do so much modding on these. Yeah, BJ just won it here. So it's getting pretty late. You guys are welcome to sign off if you guys want to. I'll hang around a little bit here. If you guys have any other questions you want me to go through, happy to answer them. Yeah, this QSP is great. The action on it is so good. It's so good. This is such a great knife for the price. In fact, even though I'm giving one away, I may get another one down the road. It's that good. Thank you, Mick. Really appreciate it. Put a Spidey hole in it. Yes. Yes, that would be great. Yeah, you're going to enjoy it, BJ, for sure. For sure. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll go ahead and put up my new knives back up on here since I have to show them off a little bit. Spiderkin, that's right. Since we didn't put the Bull Mastiff back on before, let's go ahead and put that back on. These knives, you're welcome to join next time. I'll try to put up some notice next time for you guys. I'm sorry I just pop on every now and again. Hollywood Tactical says, I would love it if there was a way to do a blind taste test like the soda companies did and try to get people to guess how expensive a knife is. Unfortunately, we already know. So there's a couple of channels that have done that with wives. They bring their wives on and they say, match the price of the knife. And it is kind of interesting to see how wrong people are a lot of the time. The Direware books are open. Don't tempt me, Dom. Didier, you have to start work? Yeah, it's only a couple hours for me too. Have a good night. Don't forget, BJ, don't forget to email me, triple.e.edc@gmail.com. Yes, Scott, thank you so much. Yeah, so I do appreciate that, you getting to me and purchasing this 452 WBW. Let me bring it on screen for you. Let's see where it is. Where'd I put that? Here it is. Scott, this is your new knife. Beautiful knife. All right, good night, guys. Yeah, that Damasteel is awesome. James, how do you buy a knife from me? So I do knife sales every once in a while, and I'll post them here on YouTube. The only knife I have that I haven't sold yet from the last knife sale is this one, the Golem, Bergblades Golem. You have about $600 to spend on a knife. Awesome. So I have a couple knives, if you stick around, let me see if there's something I want to sell. May as well, as long as I have someone on here. So I don't know if you had any interest in the Golem, but that is for sale. I did a couple of price drops on it. This is $275. Yep, $275 on that. Hey, Leviathan, have a great night. Yeah, $275 on that one. Let me see what else I can throw out here. This is one I wasn't thinking about getting rid of, but I might get rid of it. This is the WE Knives Roxy 4 prototype. This is a prototype knife. You can see right there, it's prototype. And I love this knife, but I've got too many knives. This is the flame job on this is a little bit different than the normal Roxy 4 because this is the prototype. You can get flamed hardware, which you don't have on the production one. This one I would sell. How much would I sell both for? So I'd probably go. I'd probably go 550 on both. I try to still give you a deal. Yeah, Dom, I could go 600 on them, but I try to give people a decent deal on the channel. There's only 4 prototypes like this in the world. So this would be 275 and this would be 275. The regular ones go for like 260. So triple.e.edc@gmail.com. Yeah. And by the way, you're in Houston, so you could always get in contact with me and check out the knives yourself in person. Yeah, the Golem sounds awesome when you close it. Well, let me get this out of the way. The blade is just so heavy that it closes nice. Just has that nice drop shut. If you paid $290 for one, could you meet me? Yeah, for sure. Why not? Now I had a deal on the other knives that if people bought both, they could get this knife, the ZDP 189 Dragonfly. Hey, Monster Racing. A little late to the party. We just finished up, but there's a couple people sticking around to discuss knife sales. But yeah, if you bought both of those at $550, I would throw in the ZDP 189 Dragonfly. So it is a pretty decent deal. Anyway, no, Monster Racing, not a problem. I love having you around. You're always throwing compliments out. You can't argue with that at all. Yeah, Hollywood, it's a pretty good deal. But I'm trying to give you guys. I'm planning at some point to adding a Patreon and giving just really good knife deals to people on Patreon. Yeah, building a car will definitely make you go broke. I'm watching. I'm watching, on YouTube that what is it called, Rust Brothers, the Rust Belt show or whatever, the car restoration show. Damn, just money pit after money pit. Great cars though, but yeah, colossal expenses with every single build. Anyway, thank you guys so much. I'm gonna head out for the to the night unless you guys have got any other questions. Yeah, Monster Racing. It's kind of a fun show. Although that guy, um, I'll have to watch Cobra Kai. Yeah, I really want to watch Cobra Kai. I was definitely watched Karate Kid when I was younger, but uh, well, I lost my train of thought. 1988 Mustang GT, 393 Stroker motor. Wow. Yeah, you're gonna. That should be a cool car when it's finished, though. Yeah, have a great night. Thanks so much, guys. Really appreciate it. This has been a long one, but it's been fun. Good night, everyone.